Well, my first objective was to get to Hokkaido, and I'm in Hokkaido. And the first thing I noticed when I walked out is the air is unbelievable smelling. It's like, it's like nature, like hardcore. Like it's really, really crisp. And like just feels so clean, and the humidity seems to have dropped quite a bit too. Even though I don't feel like geographically I went very far, it feels very different in the air. And it's a bit cold. Like I'm thinking about putting my sweater on because it is, I think 7 a.m. now probably. And I guess at nighttime it gets a lot colder here. A guy I had a drink with that just went by on a bus. Yeah, so anyway, I'm in Hokkaido, and my next step is I have an Airbnb about 40 kilometers north of here, so I've just got to get there somehow, and I mean, how hard could that possibly be? Oh, so like the boat ride was fine last night. Not a whole lot to report. I went to sleep after I ate dinner and hung out with a guy for probably an hour just bullshitting and stuff, and then I was like, I'm gonna go to bed. And I think I got like a solid 6.5, 7 hours or something, so I mean that's not too bad. And I'm feeling all right. Use a shower, I guess, a little bit. I feel a little funky. They have that bath and stuff, but I traded sleep for cleanliness. So yeah, other than that, it was a very nice boat ride. I'd rate it like I don't know, like an 8.5 out of 10. Well, I made my way like, I don't know, like maybe 35, 40 kilometers, something like that, up to Chitose. I've got an Airbnb booked in this town, so I will have to make my way there. I looked at the map after I booked it, and it seems like it's kind of a long way outside of town. So I'm a little bummed about that, because I'm not really sure how the hell I'm gonna get there. It's just like in a really strange area, like in an industrial park or something. So I don't know exactly what's gonna happen with that, but check-in's not till 3 o'clock. It's like 8:30 or something, and I'm standing in front of the center part of the city and the train station, so I'll look around here and maybe I'll find a coin locker and stick my bag in there so I don't have to haul it around. Or I still need to do laundry, so that could be a thing I do too. Again, single woman picked me up. Girl in her like maybe mid-20s or something. And she is an apprentice at some sort of cooking thing. Like she is being like, she said she's got like, her sensei is like, somebody she works with, just her and him together. And I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but anyway, her and her sensei work together. And she is like an apprentice of some sort. And that's interesting. She's on her way to her cooking, not class, but her cooking experience. So, yeah, another totally, absolutely normal person, and she wouldn't let me leave without giving me some tea. All right, I've never had this. I get to try it. It's fun. So yeah, I don't have a cell phone. I don't have any like internet. Like if I'm away from wireless access points, like at my house or at train stations, or usually at convenience stores. And I use convenience stores all the time to just like hit things, look up like, oh, what is there to do around here, or look up maps, or look up, you know, internet stuffs. And it's really, really handy. And I haven't had a problem yet, but I just hit the 7-Eleven that's like in the center of the city, and they don't have Wi-Fi. And that's the first time I've seen a 7-Eleven without Wi-Fi in like 2 or 3 years in Japan. So that's going to add a stage of complications to my situation if there are no convenience stores with Wi-Fi. And I'm also next to the train station. No Wi-Fi there either. Things just got more adventurous. Maybe it was just at one 7-Eleven. I found another one down the street. They've got Wi-Fi, so maybe somebody just had their router unplugged. I don't know. I'm back in business. Alright, so I counted how many clean pairs of panties I had, and I can't say that with a straight face. I counted how many clean pairs of underwear I had, and I'm good to go for a couple days. So I'm going to skip laundry and just start exploring this little town. So I popped my bag into a coin locker, which was 400 yen, and then I walked around the corner and I found another coin locker that was 200 yen. So I'm like already losing out for the day, man. I was like, what is this? Criminals, you know? And then I saw there was a tourist information area, so I went up to the tourist information area, And I was like what can you do here? Like, what is here? And she's like, oh, there's this really pretty lake that's out to the other side of the city, and you can take a bus out there. And I was like, okay, cool. So I think I'm gonna do a pretty little lake tomorrow. And today I'm gonna stay in the actual city, and there's a couple of factories, and I'm just gonna walk up to the factories and see if I can get a tour. We'll see what happens. It's like a beer factory and maybe like a kyde factory, which would be interesting, like snacks and stuff. No, I don't think I've ever been to a kyde factory, so lots of beer factories in the past. Might skip the beer factory. So I also asked her what famous food is from here, because everybody's got a famous food. Every Japanese town has one of those. And she was like, maybe burgers with egg on it is their thing here. And I was like, okay. So she gave me this pamphlet, and it's just like a million pictures of stores that have burgers with egg on it. So apparently that's a thing, and she recommended one of them. Like, there's a chain, I guess, it's famous in Hokkaido, and the first one is down the street from where we're at. So maybe I'll try to hit that later, or find a different burger with an egg on it. I'm down on a burger with an egg on it. I love that. That's like one of my favorite things. So far so good, minus the coin locker situation, man. What's that, you know? Come on now, people. If all else fails, I found a backup plan. So like, when I watch travel documentaries, I'm always like, yeah, but how did you get there? Or in this case, it doesn't apply, but yeah, I'll be like, yeah, but what about the cameraman or the dude holding the boom mic? Like, you know, you see like those adventure dudes like climbing these mountains and doing all this crazy stuff, and you're like, oh, that's amazing. And then you're like, but also the guy that did it with a camera at the same time. You know what I mean? So like, I always want to know what's the story behind the story. And in this case, the story behind the story is just, I'm walking down this road and this is what it looks like. Like, this is what this is. I'll probably walk for, I don't know, 35 minutes, 45 minutes or something, and then I'll get to where I'm going, and hopefully it'll work out. I could have called ahead and asked if I could have a tour, but I'm just gonna go and be like, I don't have a reservation, and try to like kick on the puppy dog eyes, and then see if I can get a tour out of it. We'll see what happens. I could completely get shot down, and then I'm just on the search for a burger. But yeah, I mean, this is what it looks like, what I'm doing, and this is not remarkable or unremarkable. I have no commentary about it at all. It's just, this is what exists. This is what Japan looks like right here. This sign says that this is where the stopping line is for the stoplight that's across the street. So like, it corresponds to this guy right here. And the girl that I rode with to get into town told me that the reason those signs are there and they're so high is because the snow gets so deep here that like sometimes you can't tell where to stop. So they put these signs up in the air so everybody knows that, I can't, does the snow get that high? Is that possible? Because like, that's like 4 meters or something. That's like 12.5 feet or something. God, that was probably bad math, but it's really big. I've already noticed how big houses here are compared to Tokyo. Like, I just saw one house specifically that was just ridiculously big, and I'm assuming that's not typical. Like, that might have been like a rich person thing or something. But even like this house that's in front of me now is like almost like American style, like, and they've got a driveway and everything. Like, that does not happen in Tokyo. It's pretty fun to walk through this neighborhood and see the different houses. Architecturally, compared to Tokyo, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this at all. There are a couple that are still kind of like Tokyo looking architecture, only way bigger, like way bigger, and with driveways. But yeah, like even, okay, here's another example. Like, that is a unique looking building. I guess a lot of it has to do with the pointed ceiling, but it's just still, it doesn't look like, it looks like some sort of like really weird twist on American architecture. That's amazing. All right, so I came over here to the kyde factory. And yeah, they make like chips and I think candies and stuff, so you can see on the pamphlet he gave me, like there's a potato there and like some more chips. I actually really like some of their food. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get to hit a factory, or at least, you know, thought. I went and I talked to the guard, and the guard was like, dude, he was really cool, really nice. But he's like, you gotta make a reservation a week in advance. I was like, a week in advance isn't gonna be a thing, man. Like, how about 10 minutes? And he was just like, nope, not gonna happen. And I was like, all right. I guess they have to prepare or something for like when they're gonna have tours or something. I don't know, maybe they only give one a day and they try to get everybody to come at the same time. I have no idea. But anyway, I'm not gonna get a tour there, so but there are a couple of other factories here. I think there's a soy sauce factory and a beer factory in this town. And I guess it makes sense because it's kind of close to a port, so it makes sense, and the land is probably cheap considering how big all the houses are. So build big factories here near a port, ship it other places in Japan, all makes sense. I'll see if I can hunt down another factory. Maybe I'll get luckier there. You often do need to have reservations for these things though, so I don't have my hopes up really high. Worst case scenario, I get an egg burger. All right, so there's a beer factory like a 5-minute walk, so I'll go try that. I think I'm gonna get shot down there too, but we'll give it a go, yeah? I know I keep going on about this, but look how much space there is. This is unbelievable. I mean, it makes sense, but I just haven't seen this much space that's not full of people in a long time. It's been a really long time to see an empty field of grass. And like, the sky here looks so big because there's no buildings sticking up into it. Like, it's really remarkable. All right, I scored a tour, but it's like 11:30 right now. The tour isn't until 1:10, so I got a little time to wait. But I'm like way away from the city right now, so to walk back to the city just doesn't make any sense. So the good part about this is that when I talked to the girl at the the tourist information thing, she told me that the best place to get one of these egg burger things is at the Kyde beer factory. Like, there's a restaurant out front, so I've got time, I'm there, and that's what's gonna happen. All right, so here's my burger, and the name of it is, it says Pioneer, and then the name of the town, Burger. So I'm not sure if like they mean pioneer as in they pioneered it, or if it's just like what they call it or whatever. But yeah, so you can get this one for 800 yen, or Bladao. I mean, you get the premium jam for 1280. I think they might have sold me. Look at that. It's like, am I getting ripped off here? Should I just go with this guy? They did kind of make, I wonder if they intentionally made this one just look like it was falling apart so that you would upgrade and get, look at that. It's like gifted straight from God. We're going here. Get me a God burger. All right, along with my burger, I ordered something called garada, and it is a Hokkaido soda. God, I have no idea. It just looks like soda to me. I don't know what it is at all. I think it's, oh, it's, I almost want, God, it almost tastes like you took root beer and mixed it with like cherry Dr. Pepper or something. Somewhere like in between those two flavors. Huh, that's good. I guess I'll keep an eye out for it. Maybe I'll get a can of it somewhere. I think it's like a Kyde thing. Kyde is the beer factory. They also make sodas some. So I think it's like maybe this is their idea of root beer. Because often Japanese people really don't like root beer. This isn't as sweet as root beer is. Maybe because like a beer factory and they needed like a soft drink that they wanted to push into, so this is what they did. I'm not sure if you can get it outside of Hokkaido. Sometimes they have things like that where it's like you can only buy it in a specific region or whatever. I've never seen it before, but I mean, I haven't been looking for it either. But it's all right. All right, my burger arrives, and check this out. It's not shaped like a burger. Look at that. It's like a croissant kind of shape, like a moon shape. And that looks like, you know how Japan makes food look incredibly perfect? Like every piece of food looks like food you'd see on TV. Look at that. It's like dripping this beautiful juice, like amazing looking burger. Yes, 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 yes. So it looks like it might be an egg salad or something that they put in here. I'm not sure how I'm gonna eat this and film this. It's like humongous. All right, I've stepped up how insane I look, and I've set a tripod up so that I can film myself eating a burger. I feel like an idiot right now. It's much easier to feel normal if Katie's here like this holding the camera and you're having a conversation with somebody else, but I'm just sitting here talking to myself, eating this giant burger. I don't have any idea how I'm gonna eat this. It's really big, like, how? I'm gonna use a fork and a knife. Definitely a fork and a knife situation. All right, so they've given me some weapons, and ooh, I already tasted some of the burger. Oh, so whatever juice they put on there, it's like almost a teriyaki flavor. And I'm sorry that this isn't like an exciting action shot of me cutting this, but anyway, yeah, it's like there's like a teriyaki-ish flavor that's going on, kind of like a sweet, you know, soy sauce or whatever they make teriyaki sauce out of. So that flavor is there. And okay, I got some things. I didn't get too much meat in there. Looks like the bacon's a little on the floppy side. but I can deal with it. I've grown to like floppy bacon. That is a tasty burger. Man. Oh man. It's actually really good. Because of the shape of the burger, so the patty is still round, but the rest of the burger is shaped like a crescent. So the patty is sort of like in the middle, and there's a lot around it that's not patty. I'm trying to get the egg in there. Oh man. Oh, that's really good. The floppy bacon, the flavor of it is really good. Yeah, it tastes like an egg salad. I guess that's what this is. I know they're doing something else special to it. I'm not quite sure what it is, but yeah, as a burger goes, that's making my knees shake. That's a really good burger. I can't believe that this is just like, you know, the crappy little, like it's not crappy, but you know, you usually have these like factories and they have like a restaurant tied onto it, and it's just like meh. You know what I mean? You're just like, it's like, this is like a cafeteria. Like they're not screwing around. This is some real burger. All right, so I consulted my my burger map. It's like the listing of everything. It gives you details, and then on the other side it shows you a map and like gives you all the addresses and contact information. And it turns out that this restaurant is the first place that they made the Chito, what was the name of this place again? I can't remember the name of the town that I'm in right now. Yeah, Chitose, I think. And this is the place that made the burger first. And I guess for some reason it was, I mean, it was so damn good, a bunch of other people started making burgers too. That's how good this burger is. It inspires other burgers. I read the rest of the description on this pamphlet here, and it says that this burger, it specifically says that women and children are going to find it difficult to eat because of how big it is. It won't like fit in their hand properly. And like, I have probably the biggest hands on Hokkaido right now, and I couldn't eat it. So they might just want to include everybody in that list rather than singling out women and children. I'm trying to look at this and find a common theme that would like make them all Chitose burgers, but it seems more like burgers are just famous here. A lot of them have got egg on them, and the lady at the center that I was at earlier was like, she mentioned like egg is a thing, but like I'm seeing other things like this is gyuton, this is beef tongue, and I don't see any egg on there. Maybe it's hiding, I don't know. But I mean, you can eat a cow tongue burger. And you can see there is egg on some of them. And this is the one that was a chain restaurant. And it looks like there's egg, maybe an egg salad, kind of similar to what I just had. And if you go down, some of them get pretty weird looking. Like, I haven't looked into this at all, but what's going on there? Who's that guy? And then there's some that are just like ice cream. That's a sherbet burger. And this one looks like that, that burger we had that was a Ghostbusters burger. It looks like kind of in the same vein as that, and that looks pretty interesting. This looks like another dessert style burger. I'm kind of excited to try. I want to try a couple of them, you know. But I was thinking maybe I should go get that chain restaurant one, but if it's a chain, I could have it somewhere else. But then I'd be eating a burger somewhere else, like where I should be eating their special food. So it becomes very complicated to make this decision. Reception area here has got like some like, this is how they used to make beer back in the day stuff. So you've got like, you know, these old school dudes like doing this stuff. And then you come on down here and, dang girl, what's going on? What's going on here? Is this, was a no clothes thing a thing, or is she wearing leggings? What's going on? They had a strict no like camera policy basically in most of the tour. And I mean, it's to be honest, it's a beer tour. Like you go in, they let you taste the ingredients a little bit, they let you sniff the hops, and then they talk about how it's made and the fermentation processes, and then they show you these big tanks, and then they show you the packaging area, which that's the cool part, because like there's all this stuff moving around really fast, and these bottles whizzing around, and labels and putting tops on and all that, and that's really, you know, to me that's the awesome part. It's just amazing to think how many little pieces are in that machine that make that whole thing happen, and then it's built into a factory, and there's like hundreds and hundreds of these things in like a minute just being created, just super fast. It's amazing. Blows my mind every time I see it. But for the most part, it was just a factory tour. It wasn't like mind-boggling or anything. The part of it that I really wish I could document though is the way Japanese factory tours or just tours in general go. And it's just like being able to understand how she's speaking and stuff really gives light into like how ridiculous the level of politeness that they use in their speech, and how when she gives a tour, she's got this perfect smile on her face the whole time, and she like enunciates. The pronunciation of every word is just like absolutely perfect, and everything is perfect about the whole thing. The whole experience is just like, there's no flaws, there's nothing wrong. Like every hair on everybody's head that you walk past is in its perfect exact location, and everything on the wall is beautiful, and it's just like they've thought of every little tiny detail and they've just like ironed it all out. And to me, that's the real story, and I really wish that like that could be shared, but again, like no cameras, what are you gonna do? Oh yeah, so this specific factory was originally built to make one of Kirin's soft drinks. Like it's lemon drink they have, it's basically Sprite. So at the end of it, everybody got beer, blah, 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 and I was like, I'm getting the lemon drink. Like it's the original jam, that's where you are, you know what I mean? You gotta get it. It's definitely warm here. I mean, it's like 3 in the afternoon now, but it's not like it was in Aomori. Like there's a big temperature difference. I'm not sure if it's just because the temperature's different today, or if it's actually just cooler up in Hokkaido, even though I'm still in the southern part of Hokkaido. But mostly noticeable is when you walk into the shade here, the temperature just drops. So I guess I feel like maybe the humidity is a bit lower, so it's not holding so much of the brutal like oven in the air as it does when you're in Aomori, and even worse in Tokyo. So it's been pretty pleasant because I'm finding the side of the street with the shade, and it's I don't feel like I'm gonna end up being a total lobster now. I found something else that is architecturally very Hokkaido in my mind, especially now that I see it again. When Katie and I had come here in the summer, like 6 years ago, we saw some buildings that had been destroyed by a mudslide, and they looked very, very similar to what this one looks like, only this one's not been destroyed by a mudslide. But with the big grass area and just the way that the apartment building looks and everything, I'm under the impression that perhaps this might be some sort of public housing structure, but there's quite a few of them in the city that I've walked past. Not sure the purpose exactly or like the background behind them, but just like the way they look, I've seen it in Hokkaido, and I have not seen things that look exactly like this in Tokyo. I can't decide if it's because of the architecture of the building or if it's just because there's grass in front of it. There's an airport like one station away, not very far at all from the center of the city. And I think that this airport services both civilian and military aircraft. But either way, there's definitely a military base around here of some sort, because fighter jets keep flying over. And it is incredibly loud when they fly over, like, because they're really low and they're over the city. I imagine being a resident of the city, that might grind on you a little bit after a while. Like, the windows on buildings are like rattling and stuff. I can hear it like on the street, or well, you can see it basically. And it's just like this incredible noise. But at the same time, like to see a fighter jet just go through the sky, it just looks like it doesn't look real. How is that flying? It doesn't make sense, you know? Like it's just this chunk of steel just flying through the air. Yeah, it's amazing. It's like the factory, right? Little pieces, like the same thing, only like maybe this is ramped up a little bit, maybe a little more mystical. Like I said before, the place that I'm staying is outside of town quite a ways. And you can arrange a pickup, but only, I'm not really that happy about this. You can arrange a pickup at like 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. at the airport, which is accessible by train from where I'm at. And if you want outside of those hours, he charges you like 1,000 yen, 2,000 yen, or 3,000 yen, depending on what time it is. And like, if you're gonna have a guest house, and I got it on Airbnb, but it's a guest house. He just happens to advertise on Airbnb. If you're gonna have a guest house, it's like 10 kilometers from anything. It's like, you gotta have some sort of system. And there's a bus system here, but I can't figure out like the route to get there on the bus. Like maybe there isn't one, I don't know. And his website didn't say anything about it that I had noticed. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just try to grab a ride to go out there. And then I started looking at the map. I'm like, I don't know what to write on the damn map. Like, when you're going to like a city, it's easy. You write the city name, everybody knows the city name, everybody knows the direction, blah, blah, blah. But like, there's some parks over there, but like, I have no idea the size of the parks. Like, if it's a big park or whatever, like, does anybody know? Like, I don't know the name of the park that's down the street from my apartment. So, like, is it a thing people are gonna, like, see and understand? Or there's, like, a ski resort that's sort of in that area. Like, if I write that on there, are people gonna know? I have no idea what to put on the sign. Like, and, like, you could ask, I was gonna ask this lady, like, hey, is this, like, something people know? But, I mean, without polling, like, a group of people, you're not gonna get a real accurate, like, you're not gonna get a real accurate representation of that. Maybe she never goes to that side of town, or maybe she lives there, so it's really familiar to her, you know what I mean? So I'm walking at the moment, thinking about what to do, and it's not as simple as just straight down this road. It's down this road, and then you have to change and go down the road to the left. So I guess I could, like, pick the city that's going that direction and put, like, in the direction of the city. Maybe that's what I'll do. That's now that I've talked. Thanks, you guys have helped me to make this decision. Maybe I'll give that a try. But I've walked so far at this point. I'm kind of close to a giant park, and I was just gonna go have a look, like, at this giant park. It looks huge, like it's like 3 kilometers long. So I'm gonna go check it out, and it's probably pretty nice, to be honest, because green stuffs. But about the prices that the guy wants to charge, like 1,000 yen is about what it would cost to have a taxi take you. So sometimes this guy's asking for 3,000 yen. That's just, like, almost insulting. Like, what is he talking about? I don't know. Hopefully when I get there, he's like, cool, but this isn't a good first impression, you know? I just got to the, what is it called? Koen. I just got to the park, and this is what greets you there. Check out this little river. Looks nice. This is promising. Turns out this is more of a forest. Like, it's behind me. I can't walk up through there. There's paths, but you kind of, like, gotta go up this hill to get to one. But I was thinking, like, you know, open park, but what I got is a forest on a hill. I mean, that's totally nice. It's gonna take me longer to walk through it. To give you an idea of how big this park is, like, they have this really nice looking track for running, and then if you look at it on the map and then you zoom out, look how much more there is. Like, I've been walking 10 minutes before I even got to this giant complex, and apparently there's a big baseball diamond in here too. It's, like, really nicely, like, the track anyway is really nicely maintained. I wish I had something like this in my neighborhood. Look at these beautiful roads with this huge pull-off area. If this is what Hokkaido's like, that's gonna make it a lot easier to catch rides, I think. So I decided to just write the name of the post office that is right near where I'm staying onto my board. And such few cars, so many few cars, there's not very many cars coming by. So I can walk, and then when I hear one, turn around, show the sign, and they've got tons of room to pull off. I think that the name of the post office should work. Like, if somebody's going that way, they know what that is, right? Like, because I think usually they're named after the town, the little area they're in. I don't know, just trying. It's a learning experience still. See how I'm squinting right now? That's not good, because the cars going this direction, the people who are driving are squinting too. I'm wondering if anybody can actually even see my sign, because, like, it is blinded. Like, I can't see anything in front of me right now. So that could slow this down. Sometimes walking has got its perks. Look what I just found. It's like right next to the road. It's like this magical little hidden nook. Look how clear the water is. Whoa. All right, somebody picked me up. They knew the town, like, based on this, and then they were like, where in the town do you want to go? And he said it's, like, pretty, like, a big area. And I was like, I don't know how to explain this. If you don't know this, like, addresses in Japan are, like, it's just a nightmare. If you have a phone number, it helps because they can put it in their GPS, but I don't have a phone number. Should have got that one. I'm gonna keep that in mind for the future. But, so I told him, like, a park name that was next to where I'm staying, and he was like, I don't know what that is. And I was like, how about this park, which is across the street, like, kind of down the way? And he's like, nope, and it's this one, this one, this one, and we worked our way until we found a landmark we knew, and then kind of like, okay, go straight, go straight, go straight, go straight. It was just like, it was a little bit confusing. And, like, I was in the back of his car and he had the radio up, and but, I mean, dude was, I mean, he picked me up, cool guy. He got me 3 kilometers down the road. So thanks, guy. So Google Maps marks this area that this guest house is in guest house. I don't even know if it's a guest. I don't know what I'm looking for. Google Maps marks it as an industrial park, but it's just a neighborhood. So I guess somebody's running a guest house out of their house. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. But I don't know if it's gonna have a sign on the front. Like, I don't know how to find it. Because like I said, addresses. Yeah, so that's where the address that I got off of the guy's webpage gives us. It's like that pin in the middle of the field. Okay, so I came over here and I was like, okay, that looks like a thing in the middle of a field, but there's no signs on it at all that indicate that it could be a guest house, and I don't even really see a door. What the hell's happening here? This is the other side of the building that kind of looks like a guest house. The place I'm looking for is called Guest House Freedom. What am I looking at here? What's that? This neighborhood feels like America. It's weird, man. Sidewalks and stuff. It's kind of nice. I've now decided that I'm just gonna walk around like with my Wi-Fi access point searching, hoping I get to something that says like the name of the guest house is the access point. And then if it does, then I know I'm at least close, right? What the hell? It's just in a neighborhood. I don't understand. This is really bizarre. Like, maybe he doesn't have a sign up because he doesn't want his neighbors to know, but you think they'd notice, you know? Alright, so I'm just wandering around just in this neighborhood, going street by street, basically. And so, two problems exist with addresses. There are addresses, but one, when you type it into my GPS, my program that I have for offline mapping, it doesn't know what it is. And it's probably because it's formatted strange, because it doesn't, there's no standardized formatting for the Japanese, so however they typed it in the Airbnb thing isn't exactly how my thing knows it is. And I mean, it's almost as much, like it's more, it seems like I should just be looking for the house rather than trying to like type in addresses over and over and over in different ways to see if I can get it to come up. And secondly, even if you have the address, it's not a simple grid system like how you would expect it to be, and nobody has their addresses written on their houses, so you can't really figure out where you are. Luckily, I found that they're doing, they're selling lots in the neighborhood, and so they've got signs, and on the sign there's an address, which is really handy. But I think, and I could be mistaken on this, I think that there's no street names, it's done by a number, and I think they're numbered in the order that they were built or something, because it's not like how you would expect, like in a, you know how in a city it's like 1st Street, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, blah blah blah. It's like, it goes 3, 5. Like, I'm on 3 and then I go over 1 and it's 5. And I don't know if this street that's running like this way along the route is like 6 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, there's no logic to it. So it just sort of screws you. And basically, in the end, what I'm trying to get to is that if you are a postman in Japan or you deliver pizzas, you are a genius. Okay, yeah, okay, I'm starting to remember a little more because I'm putting together some logic I'm seeing. So the number, okay, so the way that this works, this is like the neighborhood, okay, and this means like the block, basically. And then this is like narrows down the block a little more. I think this might be the house number essentially. And then this is like, there can be more than one property or something in one of these things. So this indicates like which property that is. I think that's how this whole thing works. So this doesn't necessarily mean a street, it means a square. So like, you can see this sign says 5, and the sign that's down there facing the other direction, like it backs up to this property, also says 5. So like, it's that entire block. So like, you guys said they don't want, so this is 5, this one right here, okay? So let's walk over here and see which one. Alright, are you ready? So across the street, you ready? Bam, 5. But this is different. So maybe this number breaks down which block it is in an area of blocks. I think that might be what it is. And then this is the property number. I don't know. You never use it. Like, you never ever use it. You use Google Maps all the time if you need to find a building, or if you need to actually drive someplace, you punch in people's phone numbers and the GPS just takes you straight there. So I don't have that ability right now. I don't have internet, which is sort of my fault, but I also kind of wish that, I mean, I checked it. I put it in my GPS before I left. It's just wrong. So I don't have any way of contacting this guy, and I don't know if the building I'm looking for has got, I don't know how, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Because like, I don't know what I'm going to do if there's no sign on this house. How am I going to figure that out? So I'm just looking for a house under construction that's on the correct, like, chome, which is an area, and then I can start to whittle it down, start knocking on doors, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so there are markers on the telephone poles that help you figure out a little bit. So now I'm just trying to 5. So this is 5, I'm trying to find 6, but I don't know logically how that works because that side of the street is 3, this side of the street is 5. Where's 4? You know what I mean? What the hell is going on? Holy crap, look at this. Look at this, I found a map. Sweet. Okay, so this was my confusion. I was in this area, 5, and then of course 3 below it. If you go over here, you get 4, and then up here, 6. Yes! So it's kind of laid out properly, right? 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so now I can take the rest of my address and I can punch it into that. And this is static GPS, and I can figure out how to get to where I'm going. This is making me very happy. I was taking a picture of that sign, so I, have a copy of it on my bot just in case I get lost, which is possible. And a dude comes up to me. He's like, "Yeah, that's real confusing, isn't it?" I was like, "Yep, it's pretty confusing. It's really complicated." But I guess once you find that sign, it's not too bad. And of course, everybody's got GPS, so this is really just like, how did this work like before there were computers? I have no idea. I know that automotive GPSs were really, really popular here before they were anywhere else in the world, which makes a lot of sense. Because I think otherwise, I have no idea how anybody ever found anything at all. Sweet, there is a sign. That makes it easier. Okay, so this is a bit of an experience. It's literally in their house, which is fairly large by Japanese standards. It's huge. Maybe that's why they were like, we got enough room for a hotel in our house. It's super, super duper clean. The lady she's nice, but she's a little cold. There's kids living here too. And it seems like, I don't know if they have their own living area and then the rest of the house is broken into the hotel area, if we're going to be sharing it with their family. So it's almost like they're running a guest house, but at the same time, it's an Airbnb. You know what I mean? Like, it's strange because like sometimes with Airbnbs, you can end up living with the family. But in this case, it's like they have a website that's like, we're a guest house. I'm like, all right. But anyway, so she said she would help me get a bus out to this lake that I want to go to tomorrow. So I'm all good, but my main issue is I have no food right now. They've got a bar here, and maybe I can get food at the bar, but I don't know. It seems like if I ordered some food from this lady, she doesn't seem like she's in the mood, to deal with that. So I gotta see if I can figure out how to find a convenience store around here, but man, we're a long way from anything right now. It's like, if you live in a neighborhood out in the middle of nowhere in America, like it's a nice neighborhood, a lot of space, but like if you want to walk to the convenience store, you take your car. That's kind of the situation I'm in right now. It's not like it is in like other parts of Japan where there's a convenience store 10 feet away at all times. But yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. It's really clean. It's really, really clean. I think a lot of people use this place because it's close to the airport and they jump from here to the airport in the morning or whatever and then they get their flight. So I think that's what's going on. But yeah, I think I might be longer than this bed. I don't know. This bedroom has got 4 beds, like some bunk system that they built like pretty well. I mean, it's pretty cool looking, and it smells like it's pretty new. I don't think they've been doing this too long because the wood smell was pretty strong. But yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, we got a big house, for Japanese people. We're used to living in small areas. Let's install a hotel. What? So this guest house experience is a bit bizarre. It's like the lady that's running it, it's like she got involved with something she didn't want to do and she put it in her house. And like, it seems like she's just annoyed about everything. It's very clean and it's going to be okay to stay there, I think, 'cause she's just going to ignore everybody's presence, kind of. But if you like ask her something, it's kind of like a problem. I don't know like what the deal is. And there's this other girl that's younger than her that works there, and she's really friendly and really nice. I can't figure out, maybe she's a sister or something. The age doesn't work for like mother-daughter. And then, so like, I just went out and I was like, hey, is there a convenience store around here? I want to get some food. And I talked to the nice girl and she was like, oh yeah. She's like, but it's a long way to walk. We have a bike. And she went and she asked the lady, the lady that owns the place, she was like, hey, can he use the bike for a few minutes to go to the convenience store? and you could just hear her grumbling at her, like, oh, it costs money for that, and like, and it's just like, it made me feel pretty weird. And I'm just like, I can walk, it's not a big deal. And then she just brought me the key and was like, here you go, no problem. And like, she was really cool about it. And there's sign, like when I first got there, I went in my room, I was like, so where's the light switch? Because it wasn't obvious. And she was like, it's not time for the light. Like, it's not okay right now. Like, we're saving power. I was like, the fucking light can't turn on the light? What? I mean, it was like 4 o'clock and it was sunny out, but I mean, in the room, there's no window. So I was like, okay, no problem. I mean, whatever, that's how we can roll, that's fine. And there's a sign on the shower that's like, it says only use the shower for 5 minutes. And it's like, and the reason is it's like because of water usage. And it's just like, we don't want to use too much water, take a 5-minute shower. I can get it, a 10-minute shower, but 5 minutes? Like, who can get all their business done in 5 minutes? You know what I mean? That's pushing it. And so 90% of guest houses in Japan will supply you with a towel. It does rarely happen that you don't get one, but sometimes they make you pay 100 yen or something. So I asked her, I was like, oh, hey, how much is a towel? She's like, she looks at me and she thinks, she goes, 200 yen. What? What are you thinking about? Like, that should be, one, it should be just written on the wall by the shower, and two, you shouldn't have had to think about that. So it just makes me wonder if she's just in a grumpy mood. Like, I don't know what's going on with this lady. But and there's this another sign on the wall that says take your, her English is very poor, so she probably had somebody else translate it, and I mean, I get it and everything. The tone of it is maybe not what's intended. However, all of the signs and all the communication I've had with them is very abrasive. So I do kind of think that the tone is intended, but there's this thing that says, take your trash home with you. I'm in a hotel, basically. You know, a guest house. This is where people come when they're traveling. Take your trash home with you. And then it goes on to say, I put up with, I can't remember the exact verbiage off in my head, but it's essentially something along the lines of, I dealt with or put up with people not separating their trash properly for 3 years. I'm not doing it anymore. Like, take your trash home. Like, what? Like, I'm in a shared room and it was $32 or something like that a night. Take your trash home? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't know. I just feel a little bit like, where am I going to take it? Where? I'm going to take it to the airport with me, fly home with it? Like, what am I going to do here? So now I just have to take my trash and take it to a convenience store, which was a 10-minute bike ride away, like, or haul it in the bus or something. What is she talking about? Take your trash with you. And I've noticed that there's signs written all over the place that are kind of in like that tone, and they're only written in English and Korean, not in Japanese. So I don't know what's going on, but some of the signs are also written in Japanese, so it's not all of them, but she does have more signs posted without Japanese than she does with Japanese, let's put it that way. It's interesting, and there's a little kid running around making a bunch of noise, which is fine. However, if we're going to be super, super strict about everything, that little kid should be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, whatever. But if I'm sleeping and I have to listen to some kid cry or something, and we're going to be super strict about everything, then it's kind of lame that they're not providing a quiet atmosphere. Do you know what I mean? Like when they're calling themselves a guest house and all that. So, I don't know. I think I'm feeling a little vindictive right now. That trash thing kind of annoyed me, I think is what it comes down to. It's like, take your trash home. All right, whatever. So I'll haul my trash out of there. And I was gonna, they have a laundry machine. I was gonna be like, oh, can we do laundry and stuff? I just don't even want to bother her. And it costs 200 yen to run laundry, which I think is fair. Like, that's okay. Like, they use water, they use electricity and all that. And so that's okay. But I just don't want to, like, just don't want to deal with this lady, you know? So I'm just gonna keep my head down, push through, hit a laundromat on the way out of town in a couple days. I'm sitting here feeling bad now after getting grumpy. I got a little girl. I shouldn't be grumpy about the little girl. A little girl is totally cute and she's totally fine. She wants to make a little bit of noise, that's fine. Can't take out my anger on that little girl. But yeah, like I said, the lady is just like, maybe she shouldn't have a hotel in her house. She doesn't seem like the kind of person that's down with this. I wonder what the backstory is. Huge plus, Hokkaido, you can see a lot of stars already. The sun just barely has gone down, and there's quite a few stars out. The moon looks pretty amazing, and I think I can see Mars. Wow. There's a lot of bugs too. I made it to Hokkaido.
Finally. That's really messed up. But
in real life, it was like a week. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
you did get there surprisingly faster than I thought you were going to get
And I
there.
hit those 2 cities on the way there, the festivals, and like...
Finger Bang Bench.
Finger Bang Bench, the works. So I did finally make it to Hokkaido in this video, and now there's another like 4 weeks or something of time that I was up there, so there's a whole lot more.
If you want to jump in on those 4 weeks, push the subscribe button so you can see more of those videos, and definitely like it so other people can see how to hitchhike in Hokkaido or to Hokkaido, and maybe they'll get there quicker.
Maybe they'll get there quicker. It's totally possible to get there quicker though, and you'll find out at the end of the series how quickly you can get back to Tokyo. Pretty quick. Yeah, so Facebook and like all those things. Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, yeah.
And our website. We have a website.
Yeah, we have a website. Do people know that? We have a website, and it's got all the videos on it. Like, if you want to watch all of our videos in sequential order, that's probably the best way to do it.
And actually see, like, pictures and stuff
we
like
put pictures
that.
and
see descriptions and little maps.
Yeah.
So we do have a website.
Yeah, I don't know how many people...
I mean, that's the first time we've ever talked about that. Put a lot of effort into that.
Yeah.
Never talk about it.
Ugh. I'm getting a little ill. Anyway, and Patreon. We have Patreon, and that's like how we make videos. So if you want to like become part of this and help us on the financial aspect of getting videos created, then that is absolutely the best way to do it. And that is the only reason that we're able to keep making the videos the way we do. So thanks a lot to everybody that's helped us out there. And got 3 questions here that I wanted to go through. And the first one was actually from somebody on Patreon, and it's Bobby Rodriguez. And he said, "You guys ever miss living in Kumagaya?" He talked about how relaxing it is in Japan, but living in Tokyo, I can't imagine is very quiet. Kumagaya seemed like a place to really relax. So for people that don't know, when we first came to Japan 5 years ago, we lived in a little town about 70 kilometers or 50 kilometers or something north of Tokyo called Kumagaya. And it's kind of a suburb, but maybe a little too far to be like a commuter suburb. Some people do commute from there, but it's not like the main area of commuting. And it's a pretty big little town, kind of. You know, it's substantial. I think the population is like 200,000 or something. But compared to Tokyo, it feels like a tiny little nothing.
Yeah.
And we lived there for a couple of years, and it was really very nice. It was an awesome place to live when you first came to Japan. And I think that...
And it was because it was relaxing, but yet there were those differences, and it was like you could tip your toe into it. And,
yeah. Before we came here, we were like, okay, we were asked by the company that had hired Katie, they were like, where do you want to live? Like in the city or like in the suburbs or blah, blah, blah. And we talked about it, and we were like, we don't want to live in Tokyo. It sounds scary.
Yeah.
Like, and now it sounds like, why would that have been scary? Like, it doesn't make any sense because Tokyo is so easy.
Now it's like, why did I waste that time?
Kind of, but I don't feel like it was wasted time.
When I think about it from the point of view of Tokyo, I think about, oh wow, why did I waste that time? When I think about like my Japanese childhood, as I call it,
those first couple years.
that was so valuable.
It was very perfect.
Yeah.
And the people that we met there were wonderful, and I actually still go there 2 times a month to teach some classes. Not really teach classes, hang out with some ladies that like to use some English sometimes, basically is how I like to describe it. So I get to see friends that still live there and stuff, so like we still have ties back there and everything. And yeah, it was really cool. And he mentions that he doesn't think Tokyo would be a very quiet place. In general, compared to other large cities, I think Tokyo's silent. Like, it's a very quiet place. Our neighbors are not quiet, but the city is quiet. And it is actually very easy to feel like be somewhat peaceful in the city. I still do get that craving to get out of it sometimes, but like it's not like my image of like New York City. I have never lived there or anything, but it's like a noisy place and stuff. Or like I think of cities like Cairo, like a noisy city, all the horns going all the time, people yelling and stuff. And Tokyo's not like that. It can still be a pretty chill place. So I don't consider it that hard to live in. It's really easy to live here, to be honest.
Yeah.
You've on YouTube, we got another question from DizJ. I hope that's your real name. DizJ. Has there been a time in Japan where you heard people talking about you to foreigners in a negative way, assuming we wouldn't understand the Japanese they were using?
No.
One time.
And I say no because I can't understand what they're saying.
One time it happened when we were in Okinawa. And a guy, we were in line to go into some touristy like temple thing or something. And we had to buy a ticket, and some guy made, I can't remember the exact words he used, but he made a nasty comment about foreigners thinking we weren't going to understand. And then I walked up to the lady at the booth and talked to her in Japanese, and I remember him being a little like,
she was like, whoa.
Yeah. She was shocked because she was like, this is awkward. Because like what he said was like basic Japanese learners would have understood. So it was, and that's the only time I think I've ever heard anything like that. But to be real, first off, Japanese people aren't really like rude in that way. Like that's not very common, especially like in Tokyo and stuff. People just have they're more classy than that. That they're going to be them running their mouth about people around them and stuff. Like if little kids point at you, their parents are like, no, you can't point. Like you know what I mean? Like they're in their culture, they're teaching like their children and everything. Like you can't behave like that about people, you know? And it's just kind of how it is. And the second hand of it is, I think the people who would be saying nasty things are probably the type of people that speak in a slang I wouldn't understand anyways. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
J-bonics?
Yeah, J-bonics. Was that, can you say that? They'd just be using like teenager slang or something, like, I guess, you know what I mean? Like the guys on the motorcycles, a lot of motorcycles and stuff. I don't think they care. They don't even think about us. But I think if they were saying something, I don't think I would know anyways. Like they'd just be using words like, why would I ever study that, you know? But in most cases, as a general answer, no, it basically never happens. People don't talk crap about us. No. It sucks too, because I studied Japanese. I was like, oh, I'm going to get to call people out, and it never happens. It's this little piece of you that's like hoping. And the last question is from what do you want? What do you want? Is that a Beastie Boys thing?
I'll tell you what I want. What do I really want?
I want Beastie Boys.
Spice
you
Girls.
want Spice Girls.
I have reasoning for it. Terrible reasoning. Anywho.
How did you start spelling your name? Kyde.
I had a friend in middle school, and our names were both Katie. And
Katie.
Yeah.
Is her real name Catherine?
Yeah, same spelling of Catherine as well. And both of our last names started with M. And we just got really tired of having the same names. Like, it was like Katie M and Katie M, and it was just annoying. So we just started spelling our names weirdly.
You were like 11 or something, right?
Yeah, I was probably like 6th grade.
Yeah.
And it just stuck. I love the spelling of my name. And I know that it makes no phonetic sense. I'm so well... Yeah.
Because Kyle...
Yeah.
Kyde.
Yeah, and hide. And
did you have poor spelling skills when you were in 6th grade?
No, I was just a badass. Put a Y there, it'll be fine. It'll just be fine. Yeah, so I love it, and I will never ever spell it any differently. Yeah.
I'm okay with it. It makes it really easy to like find things on the internet with your name in them.
That is true.
Yeah. It's super easy.
I like going up to people and they're like, oh, well, how can I find you on Facebook? And I'm like, just type in my name. I'm the first thing that comes up. So that makes me feel pretty good.
And now, hey, if you didn't see it on the last card, like all the stuff is happening on the screen, like with all the cards.
Oh, it's like on Wii. The Wii goes when you're done chatting.
When you're done chatting with the video chat on the Wii.
I love that. It's like my favorite thing. I just call to say hello, and say goodbye.
Ready? Goodbye.